Hello everyone, I'm Shravya. Today we are here to present our case study on the airline reviews, where we explore how customers' feedback can be used to evaluate the airline performance. So, this study is based on a data driven approach using both the quantitative ratings and qualitative reviews to understand what drives the customer's satisfaction in the airline industry. Starting with the introduction. So, in today's competitive airline industry, understanding what customers or passengers value is very critical. So, for this study, we have analyzed more than 5,000 verified airline reviews. So, for covering various airlines, classes, and types of trips. So, what makes this analysis very insightful is that it combines both the structured data like star ratings and unstructured data, including the customer reviews and sentiment. So, where our analysis focuses on the key metrics like seat comfort, food and beverages, cabin crew service experience, Wi-Fi, entertainment, and overall value for money. So, by integrating these factors, our aim is to better understand the passengers' experiences and identify what contributes to a very positive flight experience for the customers. Coming to the problem statement, the airlines have increasingly depended more on the customers' reviews to adapt their services and differentiate themselves in the current market. So, through this project, we aim to uncover these insights from both using the sentiment analysis and trend ratings. So, these insights can support strategic decision making, enabling the airlines to improve their customer satisfaction and build a very good brand through customer loyalty. Coming to the situation analysis, here we compare the average overall rating across airlines, where we can see that Dragon Air is in the top with 5.92, followed by Qantas Link with 5.77 and Royal Brunei Airlines with 5.69, where meanwhile the lowest of all the airlines is Silk Air with 4.84. So these figures here provide an initial indication where the airlines are performing well in terms of the passengers' satisfaction. So the sentiment distribution of the text is actually shown in the pie chart where the results are nearly evenly split with 154 for the positive sentiment score and 155 for the negative. So this is a balance which shows a mix of customer experiences where it highlights the need to examine more specific factors to identify the customer satisfaction. The line chart shows the average overall rating throughout the years, where the ratings have peaked in 2012 with 8.883 and but they have dropped significantly in 2020 due to pandemic with the lowest of 3.64. While as we can see, there is a little bit of recovery happening in the recent years. So but still the data indicates that the overall customer satisfaction has not yet returned to the pre-pandemic levels and pre-pandemic years. So the in the other bar graph, we can see that the airline performance across various categories like cabin staff service, food and beverages, and seat comfort, which shows a very strong service quality, where we can see that Japan Airlines and ANA Airlines have been leading in all of these categories, whereas Cathay Pacific and Asiana Airlines show lower ratings in categories like food and comfort of the seating, pointing to improvement to improve themselves in those sort of areas. So in this situation analysis, the overview is that it establishes the current standing of different airlines from a very broad customer perspective. So in the following sections, we'll explore deeper patterns and examine which specific features most influence overall satisfaction and customer sentiment.
So now we are going to look the overall ratings of the airline. So this visual particularly highlights the total cumulative ratings received by each airline, reflecting aggregated customer evaluations across various services dimensions and such as comfort, punctuality, staff services in flights, experiences, and overall value. The top rated airlines are we can see the Royal Brunei with 1,194, and also with followed by the Hong Kong, which stands with 1,170, and also the Korean Air, which has 1,128. The strong, and then we can see the comparative lower tier, which is Bulgaria Air and also the Batik Air. Both stands at 954, and the other one is at 960. So airlines with higher scores benefit from brand equity and positive word of mouth, reinforcing their market position. And also, the lower rated carriers can leverage this insight to identify areas for service enhancement and targeted customer engagement. And now now we will see the situation analysis too. This is the second situation analysis. In this, this situation analysis presents a comprehensive view of airline performance and customer perceptions analyzed through three key perspectives. If we can see the first visual, which shows the airline rank by value of money, this bar chart highlights the top airline based on perceived value of money. The Southwest airline, the Southwest, the Southwest airline leads with 4.73 million value ratings, followed by LATAM Airlines, which has 3.3 millions of reviews. So airlines So this ranking suggests strong customer satisfaction and competitive pricing among the top ranked carriers. The second, we can see the sentiment. I'll just push this. Yeah. The second, we can see the sentiment trend over time. So in this stacked bar chart, it captures the volume of positive and negative sentiments from 2010 to 2023. There is a clear upward trend in total sentiment. And also post 2018, peaking in 2023 with over 100 million mentions, indicating increased customer engagement. So while negative sentiments dominate in recent years, positive feedbacks has also grown steadily, reflecting rising consumer interactions and awareness. The third one we can see, this is a box plot, which shows a traveler type distribution by airline. So this visual shows the distribution of value rating by travel type, like business, couple leisure, family leisure, and solo leisure. And so this shows that the couple leisure and the solo leisure travelers exhibit the uh, widest range and the highest number of responses. This insights help identify key customer segments that drive airline evaluations and influence brands' perception. So the key takeaways of this overall situation analysis is the airlines like Southwest and LATAM are top performers in uh, value delivery. Customer sentiment is increasingly vocal with need for airlines to monitor and address both praise and also complaints. So the leisure travelers, like the couple and the solo, dominate the review landscape, indicating where the marketing and the service efforts may be best directed. So next is also one of the visuals for this situation analysis, which shows airline recommendation rate. So this is a bubble chart visual, which visualizes the percentage of customer who would recommend each airline to others. So a key indicator of overall satisfaction and brand loyalty. The top performing airlines are the China Southern Airlines has the highest recommendations rate at 96.43%, showcasing a strong customer trust and satisfaction. And the next is Hainan Airlines follows closely with 92.31%, and then followed by Qantas Link stands out with 83.33%. So these airlines are likely excelling in both service quality.
This is the first regression analysis performed on the dataset. This is a linear regression analysis, which is predicting the overall rating from the key service features, which are ground service, cabin staff service, seat comfort, Wi-Fi connectivity, etc. So from the model, we can see that the top predictors are ground service, cabin staff service, and seat comfort, which have the strongest positive impact on the overall rating. And Wi-Fi and connectivity have a negative impact of minus 0.38, suggesting poor Wi-Fi significantly reduces customer satisfaction. The model has an adjusted R-square of 29%, and all the predictors are statistically significant. So in conclusion, the data set has, for most of the airlines, excellent staff service, grounds experience, and comfort drive high ratings. But due to the weaker Wi-Fi and connectivity, the overall customer satisfaction, which may go down and will impact the rating in a very bad way, and thereby decreasing the overall rating for the airline. On the right-hand side, we can see a visual representation of the regression model where all the factors, which are the independent variables of the regression model, are there in the golden blocks, and the overall rating being the dependent variable. Coming
Now that we've looked at Model 1, which helps us understand, predict overall ratings from key service features, we are going to be looking at the next two models, the second model being the linear regression model, which studies the perceived value for money, and then the third model being the logistics regression, which helps us understand how we can predict passenger recommendations. Coming to the second model, this model specifically helps us understand the value for money using key experience factors. We are using factors like seat comfort, cabin staff service, food and beverage, ground service, in-flight entertainment, and Wi-Fi connectivity, all of which are pretty important factors and experiences for a customer or a passenger flying on an airline. Now, the key influences after we finished the analysis were that the ground service and seat comfort are the strongest positive contributors to perceived value. Cabin staff service and food and beverages are right after. They also improve value perception. Wi-Fi and connectivity has a significantly negative impact, showcasing that it reduces value perception. In-flight entertainment had no measurable impact, almost to zero. Based on the model fit, we can understand that the model explains about 64% of the variation in value ratings. All predictors except entertainment are statistically significant in this specific model. From this, we can conclude that passengers perceive the trip as better value when comfort, ground service, and food quality are high, while poor Wi-Fi hurts this perception. Moving on to the third model that we have, which is the logistic regression model, which predicts passenger recommendations, we find that seat comfort and ground service, again, like exactly from our second model, had the strongest positive influence on recommendations likelihood. Cabin staff service and food and beverages also significantly increased the charges of recommendation, while Wi-Fi connectivity had a negative impact, where it significantly reduced the likelihood of recommendation. Again, in-flight entertainment had significantly no effect on passenger recommendation. Based on the model fit, we can understand that all predictors except entertainment were statistically significant. This concludes our regression and linear regression and our logistic regression analysis on understanding overall rating, value for money, and passenger recommendations. Now, now that we've understood what really matters for passengers, let's understand how their sentiments and their reviews are for these airlines, how based on their experiences they've related or relied their sentiments on their reviews. Let's move on to study and understand the sentiment analysis. Based on the word cloud in both with and without stemming, we understand that the most frequent words over here include flight, they include service, staff, airport, luggage. It basically showcases that passengers frequently talk about both operational factors and also customer service. Terms like refund, late, cancel, and poor reflect common pains that are points, while crew, comfortable, and great indicate areas of satisfaction. Now, this gives us a pretty good idea of what specifically the customers or passengers reviews included. Now, if we move on to the next part, which is the variance analysis, this shows us specifically the negative and the positive reviews in total from the dataset. We find that most of the reviews are negative, but positive reviews just fall behind with a difference of only 200. Negative reviews comprise of about 2,545, and positive reviews are almost 2,381, highlighting that passengers tend to leave reviews when they feel strongly either satisfied or frustrated. Now that we understood how much the negative and positive reviews are compromised of, let's look at the emotion analysis. Now, these 7 emotions are a very good idea of understanding how these passengers or customers review reflect. And we see that trust is at a pretty high level, and we see that the lowest is almost surprise. Surprise is almost something that's not specifically related to this specific reviews from customers. Now, the dominant emotions are very evidently trust and anticipation, which shows us that passengers hope for a smooth experience and often rely on airlines to deliver. However, emotions like sadness, fear, and anger are often and anger also appear frequently, pointing to emotional volatility in air travel experiences. Notably, joy is also relatively low, which suggests that positive experiences are less experienced based on the services that are provided.
So now we'll look at the word co-occurrence between adjacent words and a corpus. So this shows the central term in both plots and flight, surrounded by strongly connected words like delay, customer seat, bag wait, and service and refund, suggesting the delays. Customer service and baggage issues are commonly concerns. And also the negative cluster like poor surveys, worst experience, and bad customer care indicate recurring dissatisfaction, while terms such as comfortable, good, and crew hint at positive experience tied to seat comfort and staff. Overall, the visual highlights the operational efficiency and service quality significantly shape passenger sentiment.
Dependent variable. Coming to the recommendations. Prioritizing ground services and seat comfort. The airlines must invest more in the ground service and upgrading and improving the seat comfort, which can boost the overall customer satisfaction, and it can greatly impact on the overall rating of the airline. And it also needs to work on its Wi-Fi and connectivity issues, as we saw in one of the linear regression models, that it's one of the negative factors that was impacting the overall rating. So it's clearly one of the factors that airline needs to work on. And streamlining refunds, minimizing delays, and improve baggage handling. All of these will boost the customer satisfaction, and automating refund updates and providing real-time baggage tracking will reduce the friction and improve the sentiment of the customers. Capitalizing on trust and anticipating emotions. This emotional investment will, by providing proactive trip updates, clear communication, and loyalty incentives, will give will make the customer feel that they're receiving more attention from the airline service, and will increase the overall customer experience and satisfaction. Personalized services based on traveler type, offering custom bundles and promotional deals for the trips will increase the customers to revisit this airline much more times, and it will also contribute to the overall rating and boost the customer satisfaction, and potentially increase the positive sentiment regarding the airline's overall experience. Improving the food and beverage quality also will play a factor in providing the better experience for the customer, because there might be some customers who are always focusing on the food and beverage while they are on their travel. Tracking the sentiment trends over time. Uh, Tracking the sentiments over time and the changes in them from time to time will help the airline to fix the issues in time, and thereby responding to the customer's demands, which will increase the overall satisfaction and improve the sentiment among its consumer base. Optimizing high frequency complaint areas. Directly targeting these problem pairs with quality control interventions and service recovery policies. And messaging should also acknowledge and address these specific issues. Conclusion. This sentiment-driven analysis gives airlines a clear view of what the passenger is thinking of the airline, and will also provide the factors that the airline needs to focus on, which can help the airline to maintain its customer base, but at the same time to boost its consumer base. And by blending service improvements with tech-driven communication and analysis, airlines can meaningfully enhance the passenger journey, reduce complaints, and build long-term loyalty. I would also like to ask the audience who are viewing this video to share their comments, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.